Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, featuring today a 1 vs 1 amidst the ruins of Rouen. Yes, indeed, we don't see this map very much, but I mean, this time we actually got a pretty interesting match on it. Who shall be doing the fighting? Well, in the northern half, we shall be seeing Gazia. Gazia fighting for the Wehrmacht. Yes, indeed, the Wehrmacht fighting for the... I don't know, 17th Volksgrenadier Division. Opposing him shall be Stephennn. Apparently the N key got a bit stuck there. Fighting for the Americans. Hurrah, huzzah, and all that. Fighting for the 11th Infantry Division. He shall be going up against those vile hands and their Volksgrenadiers. Shall be an interesting fight. Shall be a violent fight. It shall be a slightly different fight, although again, all of a sudden there's been quite a few interesting fights, so tomorrow should also prove interesting and entertaining. But we are seeing a 3 pioneers start out from Gazia and then a Volksgrenadier squad out. This is pretty unusual already there, where Stephennn is playing a bit more conservatively, starting out with 2 engineers. He's having none of that 4 engineer business. That's for hippies and commies, apparently. Starting out with a rifleman squad heading up here towards the center. Flaps apparently deciding that 30 FPS is also for hippies and commies, but then the Gestapo sorts that out for now. But there we go, first Volksgrenadier squad out, and of course 3 pioneers for Gazia. Means of course he's going for a pretty aggressive start. He wants to take as much territory as possible, which is rather interesting to note, and also sort of his capping order. He's clearly singling out munitions, so clearly there's something going to be involving a lot of munitions. Could be several flamethrowers, perhaps MP40s en masse. Will definitely be interesting to see what sort of thing it will involve. Also a bit of barbed wire here to sort of deny cover to those damn Americans. But already here in the east we are running into a bit of problems as Stephenn's riflemen are pushing in, forcing away the pioneers, stopping the seizure of that fuel point right there. Definitely going to be a problem right there for Gazia and the 17th Volksgrenadier Division. And the Americans pushing in here. Volksgrenadier standing up behind a few barrels, opening up with Kar-98 gates and Sturmgewehrs. And we also got a bit of an apology from Lynx after sort of E3. The whole right that might have been not so great, not showing anything new. Don't know if that means he will actually be giving us something in return or something like that, but has definitely been noted. And of course he's also pointing out that currently they don't really want to show it off. That is, what they have is not good enough to actually show it to us. That's rather their opinion. And I suppose if they feel like, you know, we are that much more important and they want to wait a bit more, well, there's not much we can do to argue. But 2 Volksgrenadiers versus 3 pioneers. We're seeing another engagement right here. Stephennn holding the better positions as Volksgrenadiers push on. And oh dear, riflemen are popping a bit about cover, getting hit by Volksgrenadiers and pioneers. This is not looking good for the riflemen, although I'm not entirely sure what's happening here. Apparently the Volksgrenadier sergeant in one of the squads sort of got annoyed with them and sort of told them to take a lap around the building. Not really the time, Jürgen, and not the time for laps. We're not in the training camp or replacement battalion. This is the front lines. And now, oh dear, he's pushing right across with a low health unit first. Oh dear, we are seeing flamethrower pioneers, but this was definitely not a well thought out charge. The more healthy Volksgrenadiers should have led it, if that was the case. Flamethrower pioneers pushing in. We're seeing even mines going down there for Stephennn. And the riflemen are getting hunted down, slightly wounded. But so far Stephennn is holding the larger part of the map. Mines going down as well for Gazia. Lovely. Mines. Oh, mine goes off. They're killing 2 Volksgrenadiers, doing heavy damage to the rest. And we are seeing additional Volksgrenadiers. Gazia is going pretty heavy on them. In fact, he's going for 4 Volksgrenadier squads. A pretty unusual move, to put it mildly. I mean, okay, we see it some time, but not with 3 pioneers. What could this mean? Could he be then going for the Sturmarmy, or could he be playing with something else in mind? Hard to say. Though the Volksgrenadier division so far is taking some brutal losses in the face of the Americans. The Volksgrenadiers sort of being thought out. It's initially some sort of perhaps a guards unit equivalent to the British and the Soviet, but that was rather quickly dropped. But they were also sort of in mind, as you know, in a modern infantry division. You know, they were supposed to be largely equipped, in fact, with assault rifles that rarely came about. Some actually had a nice set of them, but rarely it applied to everyone. It was quite the interesting idea, and usually they'd actually have more artillery than their regular division, and generally they had more firepower. What they had less as then. The regular infantry division was actually infantry. They had a lot less infantry, less battalions. In fact, some sort of shrunk into a company, and a lot of things were sort of made up, so they actually required a lot less manpower, but again, much more firepower being equipped. So again, that's sort of the interesting bit about the Volksgrenadier divisions. They also actually had some armor of their own. They had a sort of Hetzer company, although that could also be Stuks, essentially, though they were sort of there as tank destroyers, but you know, essentially were assault guns and were also used as it. So essentially, I mean, a German infantry, and sort of late, in particular the Volksgrenadiers, actually had some organic armor, a bit like a, though not nearly anything as like a flaps, using it as an expletive, but I mean, they wouldn't quite have had, you know, say like a Panzer division wouldn't have a full battalion, but still, I mean, a company that is 13 or 14 Hetzers or Stuks is not exactly something to scoff at either. Gazia, though, a bit pushed back. He doesn't really have anything to really... 5 Volksgrenadier squads? That's madness. In the meanwhile, it looks like Stephennn, though, has gone for BAR, so there's not going to be so much punishment for that. Had he gone for armored cars, things might have looked less great for the Volksgrenadiers. But apparently this amount of Volksgrenadiers is actually making Stephennn a bit worried, and so of course he's going for BARs, which tends to be the sort of primary thing you go for if you face that many Volksgrenadiers. Get some BARs, gun those buggers down. So a large force moving up there, with some pioneers and support to ensure they do not get knocked out by mines. Lovely, lovely Gazia. Rather than getting pushed back, simply too much firepower right here. Now the Riflemen could find themselves getting shot down. Oh, mine goes off! Oh! Mines weren't fast enough with that, eh, Heinz? Oh no, that was actually Gazia's mine, come to think of it, probably. Bit unfortunate. Bunker going up. He's in fact trying to support all this infantry with the medic bunker. That's actually pretty nice to see, but no, he's instead going for the sniper now. Interesting, interesting. Pushing up, trying to seize as much territory again. Gazia in a slight amount of trouble. The Americans are leading quite nicely due to the aggressiveness, boldness of Stephennn. Not Stephen King, but just Stephennn. Lots of mines, my goodness. So many mines, lovely to see. Quite the urban fight right here. Volksgrenadiers moving up to hit the flank of the Riflemen here. Already one drops. The rest quickly get out of there, not fancying further shots to the head. And there we go, trying to get away. Oh dear, quite a few losses right there. Will there be a replacement medic bank up? No, we are seeing a Kampfkraft center to deliver the Kampfkraft to the Volksgrenadiers and make them stronger. Good soldiers as Reich. Trias and to sort of help with all the damage the Riflemen are taking. Not a bad investment, my apologies for the hiccups. But certainly quite interesting. I mean, it's rather stayed at the sort of, you know, infantry level for quite some time. No armor at all. Oh dear, and grenades as well. I mean, Stephennn is really going all out in a sort of his attempt to stop the Volksgrenadiers. He's probably feeling he can get away with it because, again, we are seeing a lot of Volksgrenadiers, and he's also doing a lot of damage to those Volksgrenadiers. So if he wants to sort of, you know, take up much faster, he would actually need to sort of, you know, sacrifice, you know, Volksgrenadiers in some way because he can't keep reinforcing them then. And again, that's sort of the dangerous thing about going this many Volksgrenadiers. You're actually going to have to pay a lot, you know, to constantly keep reinforcing them if you're not careful. Now again, a medic bunker would be nice, you know, Gazia. You had it in plans, you know, so why not get one? But we are seeing the skirmish phase now. We could be seeing some MP40s now being equipped. And Germans troops, or the Volksgrenadiers as well. And then if they couldn't get, you know, the assault rifles they were supposed to be, some actually just got submachine guns, sort of large numbers, and the rest, you know, rifles and MG42s like they were supposed to as sort of regular infantry, and not Volksgrenadiers. Again, I mean, it's certainly some interesting thoughts right there. Sniper hanging about. Looks like Stephennn is slowly, carefully measuring it. Looks like he's heading up for a grand flank, trying to hit the sort of western flank of the Volksgrenadier division pretty viciously. Nice to see that. Pioneers moving up. But burning the ground, why is he doing that? Just in case there might be mines. You know, burning the ground can set them off. Although usually only do it where you sort of have an idea, but otherwise you're going to be standing up. Looks like he's got disco fever. A new experimental weapon from the Wehrmacht. Very lethal. Only a penny and one disco fever round. Ravner though pushing up, trying to hunt down the sniper. We are seeing Volksgrenadiers sort of moving in. MG42 on the way. I mean, really heavy tears from both players. Although Gazia seems to be splitting his troops out a bit too much. MP4's being equipped, there we go. Volksgrenadier wave moving in. MG42 pulling up to support. These chaps are not really in a good position either. Still no medic bunker for Gazia, but let's go look at Stephennn. And these Volksgrenadiers get pushed up. We are seeing a much larger push right here. Riflemen going down. Volksgrenadiers pushing on with the support of the Schweres MG42. And looks like actually Stephennn is actually pushing back several of his riflemen squads. Not quite fancying that. Mines going down at the same time again. Good. Make it much harder for the opponent to advance. But no, he's forced to cancel as the Volksgrenadiers push on pretty viciously. The veterans who won this time around. These riflemen trying to secure that central victory point. Maximum come under the fire of the MG4 of Volksgrenadiers. There we go. But they do get out. Oh, well, most of them get out there in time. Sadly, Hank did not make it. Tragic. Volksgrenadiers sneaking up on the east. And Stephennn now with the supply out. He could perhaps go for a tank depot. He's definitely got the fuel for it. Could be a very nasty move against Gazia. No, we're actually seeing an observation post from Stephennn. For more munitions, quite interesting. Perhaps more grenades, perhaps he's going airborne, perhaps he's getting artillery. Definitely some interesting long-term thinking right there. Of course, all just more mines could always do well. Going for the cut-off point, trying to deny the Wehrmacht of fuel. These Volksgrenadiers are in a slight problem. They are on their own, and they are quickly getting the devil out of there. Central area pretty nicely sort of prepared. No mines though from Gazia. Engineers getting sniped. Further sniping so far. 4 kills for that sniper. Not that much really. But a Kriegberg's going up for Gazia. A Krieger barracks. We'll be interested to see what it goes for. Rifleman charging up through the center. Rifleman flanking stopped by the MG42. But we are seeing grenades hammering in. Oh dear, Volksgrenadiers going down. MP4, he's trying to hold everything. But it's simply too much. The American... Oh, grenades going off left and right. Bodies litter the ground. Absolute carnage right here as Stephennn breaks through. Flamethrowers moving in. More MP40s in a desperate attempt to contain the American offense from Stephennn and keep this territory German. But no doctrine as of yet from Stephennn. Nothing like that. Gazia moving out. Other troops reinforcing again. A medic bunker really would have helped him right there. A lot of wounded he could have picked up, I wager. Bit of a shame he cancelled that and then sort of didn't try again shortly after. Definitely think that would have benefited him. Nothing from the Krieg barrack as of yet. Gazia laying down a bit of wire here. He's slowly starting to gain some territorial advantage. Although victory point terms he's doing pretty rubbish. And now there we go. Tank depot going up for Stephennn. And we are seeing the Volksgrenadiers moving out again. The 17th really deploying heavily. Doing their best to fight the Americans. Mines going down at the flanks. Jolly good. Though probably would have had that been nice with that earlier. I mean, it's not always best to have your Volksgrenadiers standing out doing nothing when they could be laying down sandbags or barbed wire. There we go, getting attacked though by a large force of American riflemen. These needs... No. Well, he could have perhaps tried to coordinate them into a larger force.
Our front lines are collapsing.
This is definitely not looking good again. The waves of Stephennn hit Gazia and the 17th. We are seeing a pack out, probably expecting some sort of armored car. And someone got sniped. MG42 sending up. Volksgrenadiers moving in. 15 men. Well, 14 men. Quite a few submachine guns and a few rifles sort of had a bit longer range firepower. Nice combination.
Initiating defensive
Riflemen getting sniped. Moving through the darkened streets. Searchlights lighting up the sky, looking out for Allied bombers. And we are seeing artillery instead. No aircraft. Yes, gone infantry. Oh dear, MG-42 taking heavy losses. Volksgrenadiers down. Sniper still moving about. Oh dear, he's retreating right into the... Oh, goodness gracious. Well, that was quite unfortunate. I don't think that sniper really managed to turn himself in. Riflemen, though, are taking some nasty losses, being pushed away. Last man standing who hasn't run away got blown to bits was these Volksgrenadiers. He does seem to have a bit of a nasty habit of spreading out his Volksgrenadiers a bit too much. It looks like some grenadiers, probably in this case more to represent the more veteran fusiliers, which were sort of the divisional elite. They were reconnaissance troops, essentially, but they were also generally the best trained troops, the best general overall, so they're sort of the divisional elite, the reserve and such. And I suppose these grenadiers could nicely represent that. Grenadiers moving up. Riflemen going down. Lots of Volksgrenadiers. And there we go, grenade. Oh, didn't kill anyone. Bit of a shame. Although I'm sure Stephennn is pleased. Oh, someone went down actually on the retreat. Bit of a shame that for Stephennn. But the 11th Infantry Division doing alright against the Volksgrenadiers and their vast numbers. And looks like some heavier support has been called in from the corps. Though not sure which one. A Sturmhaubitze there to provide some pretty heavy firepower. Looks like tank destroyers are now on the way for Stephennn. Quite interesting. That's definitely going to prove a problem for the Sturmhaubitze. Rather getting stopped right there in the center, getting hammered by the MG. Stu moving in. Will he be able to kill anyone? So far it seems the answer is no. Further fighting in the center, flamethrower pioneers and Volksgrenadiers with MP40s turning the American tide. 2 kills, that's better than no kills. But Blitzkrieg is the choice of the 17th. Calling in as much armor they can, but there we go, the tank destroyer has arrived. Going for the cutoff point there. Excellent, excellent. No? Oh well. Looks like a second tank destroyer is on the way. Seizing how much points, in particular these ones, since that would cut off Stephennn from these resources. Definitely not a bad move. Sturmhaubitze moving in, though it is clearly not aware what's waiting for it. It is moving into the den of the Lion, and the Lion in this case is a tank destroyer with a 75mm gun, or 3-inch gun in this case, as the Americans called it. Might have been 76mm actually. Volksgrenadiers moving. Tank destroyer going, and there we go. The Stu 42 just continues going in for the infantry. 5 kills. Getting hammered. It can't escape, so it's just trying to do as much damage before it goes out. 8 kills. 9. Main gun destroyer, but can still crush them beneath its treads. 11. And 13. I suppose that's alright. So it wasn't a complete waste of Sturmhaubitze. Gazia now gaining the sort of upper hand after that pretty bold raid into Stephenn's space, killing quite a few. I mean, 13 infantry, that's still going to be something. Plus he lost an engineer squad. But now Gazia is in a bit of trouble. He's actually lacking some anti-tank assets. He's got 2 tank destroyers, although they can't directly do as much damage. They can still run them over and still prove to be a huge pain in the arse.
Germans are seizing territory from us.
So Gazia will need to deal with them sooner or later. Tank destroyers moving up towards the west, going in after the Volksgrenadiers. And a mine goes off, killing one unfortunate engineer. Poor bastard. Tank destroyers moving in, and again, rather proving themselves to be a nuisance. Not much Gazia can do, because again, he's lacking the assets to really take on those tank destroyers. Although he's now getting another anti-tank gun. Light forces over here. Riflemen and Grenadiers could soon be clashing in a fight for dominance. Lots of riflemen moving in, lots of Volksgrenadiers and Grenadiers. What the fight? Oh dear, Pioneers got blasted down. But we are seeing Pancakes now, and actually this is something that can actually aid them. Why is that, you ask? Because it blows up the cover. It's actually denying the Americans cover, making them actually easier to hit. And note now, all of a sudden, the riflemen suddenly took 3 hits as they were forced to relocate due to the Pancakes. And note, the German troops have barely taken any damage, and now again more cover getting blown up. Suddenly riflemen are dropping in a much faster rate. So I mean, that's sort of the lesser expounded upon realities of, you know, having bazookas and Pancakes and such. They can actually deny your opponent cover like this. Anti-tank flying away at the tank destroyers, but not quite getting where. Oh dear, Gazia's position right here is quite exposed. We are seeing an MG42 got cleared out because it's out in the open. Not good, and now the anti-tank gun's in a lot of trouble, getting attacked by rifle grenades. A noble blitz goes up for some random reason. Clearly it was filled with petrol. Riflemen are getting pushed away, but really, oh dear, we're seeing artillery getting called in against one of the packs. Mine goes off. Riflemen do manage to get away. And the pack goes out. Engineers getting pushed away. Will they be trying to recruit that MG42 though? Yes, indeed. Although might be an idea to slightly pull it back. And perhaps also set up some cover so it's not quite out in the bloody open. I mean, an MG42 can go down pretty quick if it's out in the open, or at least not covered properly. Very important little lesson there. More Grenadiers arriving. Much larger present for the 17th. Still no medic bunker from Gazia. But it's actually time to have a look at him. And again, we are seeing 5 Volksgrenadier squads and 2 Grenadier squads. That's an awful lot of infantry. MG42 getting, and again out in the open. Quickly getting sorted out. Grenade, and then just gunning down the rest. Not looking good at all for Gazia. Volksgrenadiers almost... Oh, they will be dying. They're forced to run the gauntlet of the riflemen. And anytime... No, it actually looks like they might be surviving. My goodness. But again, otherwise, total collapse. Grenadiers and Volksgrenadiers can't contain that. Getting pushed away, the pack exposed. No, the Americans are not pursuing. Quite interesting. Quite interesting indeed. And looks like there we go. The MG42 secured by the Americans. That's definitely going to be a problem for Gazia now, although a second Sturmhaubitze has been called in. Fancy that. No veterancy for it though. I mean, it would be an idea to get some veterancy, make it a bit tougher, and so it can take a bit more damage. Volksgrenadiers getting hammered by the MG42. Still no medic bunker. There we go. The Sturmhaubitze gets 1 kill. All that smoke and no real kill. Anyways, Rifleman. Oh dear, running straight into the MP40 equipped Volksgrenadiers, although they're going to get off a grenade. No, they stop instead, getting completely away. Not quite fancying getting utterly eviscerated. Additional Pancakes, but he's actually dual equipping it. Might be a bad idea to actually spread it out on both Grenadier squads. Just as a casual suggestion. Tank destroyers waiting in the base, but looks like they are on the move again.
Hey, rookie, think you can handle it?
Still no veterancy for the armor, but at least there's more veterancy for the infantry. Additional pioneers. Mine goes off. In fact, looks like Gazia hasn't been having some pioneers in some time. Not really good either, when he could have been laying down mines, for example. But there we go, tanks are moving in. No Panzerschreck for these poor Grenadiers. And again, note how much the tanks have actually managed to make a nuisance of themselves. Very vital that. That way Stephennn can still sort of keep some element of surprise and advantage against Gazia, because he's constantly being a pain in the ass, forcing Gazia to constantly shift about his anti-tank assets, because again they're limited, which also means he's just going to move to another page and hammer in there. Volksgrenadiers are getting pushed off here in the west now. Of course, now the Grenadiers and everything is moving towards the east. Bunker finally going up for Gazia, about damn time. Although Gazia is still holding most of the map. One should not discount Stephennn too quickly, I think. And there we go, the MG42 moving up. Tank destroyer getting hammered by Panzerschrecks. Grenadiers doing what they can to knock it out, but again they're a bit unsupported. Still no veterancy for the armor. Grenadiers getting pushed up, but anti-tank kind scores to kill. Tank destroyer out of control. Second one still in a bit of trouble.
Territory.
And in the meanwhile, Stephennn occupying the enemy, and these now move towards the much more lightly defended west. Jolly good move, Stephennn, keeping the Hun on his toes. And we are seeing grenades going off, troops going down, Stu 42 blasting. Volksgrenadiers quickly get severely pushed off. We are seeing the bunkers up, we are seeing the medic upgrade on the way. Grenadiers are a bit left on their own to deal with the riflemen here in the west. Although now we are seeing a much stronger Volksgrenadier force moving in to assist. Again, lots of automatic. We're seeing grenades going off. No one killed from the riflemen, though that might soon change with the MP40's arrival. Center is quite open. We are seeing more Stu 42 fire. Or is that artillery? And there we go, riflemen are now taking heavy losses here in the west. Looks like someone went down.
The enemy advances.
Oh dear, pack crew got eviscerated. And these pioneers are definitely not doing too well either. They need to retreat. Rückzug, Männer, Rückzug!
The Americans are capturing the sector.
A bit of a desperate counter move from Volksgrenadiers. Of course, that MG42 right here is going to make it much easier for the Germans to actually lead an assault. Medic is picking up the wounded grenade against the Volksgrenadiers. Only kills one. Veterancy 2 though for the rifleman. That's ever going to be a problem. By the way, yes, we are seeing supplied upgrades, excellent. And we are now seeing on-map artillery. And a second Sturmhaubitze called in to assist the 17th Volksgrenadier Division, which is clearly suffering. Sticky bomb on the Sturmhaubitze. Rifleman sneaking in for the west, Volksgrenadiers going for the east. And artillery hammering away as well. It's really a lot happening right here now, going for the cutoff point, but of course running into another Stu 42. Still no veterancy for it. Oh dear. Oh dear, that could be... Oh dear, there's absolutely nothing here for Gazia to really take advantage of this one very lonely retreating rifleman. Oh, he even survives a mine. Oh dear, the inhumanity, although there's a BAR left behind for Gazia to pick up if he cares. It looks like he's lost a squad of grenadiers. Oh dear, and again, note that's also one to be careful. I mean, imagine if Stephennn had secured those dual Panzerschrecks. That could... Oh, that would really have been a massive issue for Gazia if his opponent had managed to secure dual Panzerschrecks. Would really have meant the life expectancy of those Stu 42s would have got down much more. Further fighting around here, Volksgrenadiers versus the rifleman caught out in the open. Suffering minor losses as MP40 wrecks them. Medic bunker hasn't yet to reconstitute anyone as grenadiers though as yet. Artillery fire to harass the opponent a bit, forcing away all infantry units there. Still all 5 Volksgrenadier squads are there. Walking, talking, breathing. Fighting for the fatherland. Germany. Riflemen holding out here, getting hammered by Panzerjacks and MP40 fire. Although advancing nicely up through the center and the west. More Grenadiers on the way, interesting enough. Gazia is not trying to call in his stormtroopers. I mean, that might actually be a nice move. He could get some assault rifles for them. He definitely has the munitions for it, and that way, essentially just charge at the rifle and tear through them. Might actually work. Could work, but apparently no. Not within his realm of interest. But let us return to Stephennn, if I can. Oh, bit of an artillery barrage right there from the dual Stu-42s. M10 trying to stop some Volksgrenadiers from taking the point, but they do not manage it. And it actually hits a mine. It could get hammered. It could get knocked out by the Panzerfaust if he decides he wants to. Stu-42s advance slowly, shattering the ground and the road with heavy howitzer fire with every step they take. And it looks like a Grenadier squad got reformed right here for Gazia. So it's up to 3 Grenadier squads all of a sudden. That's lovely. Lovely. Could be an idea to perhaps, you know, get an LMG 42 or additional Panzerjacks. LMGs against the infantry, Panzerjacks against, of course, the tank destroyers. Either would be nice, I think. MG42 though holding up the east. Got a nice sort of arc of fire right here. And we're seeing a mortar up for Stephennn. A mortar, but considering he does have weapon support, so he's actually bothered to get that, to get a mortar. Quite interesting, quite fun to see. 3 kills already, making it further of a problem for Gazia to sort of maintain a steady line, since he's going to get hammered from every side. Grenadiers with a BAR, riflemen pushed away. 17th Volksgrenadier Division is in a lot of trouble. 11th Infantry pushing onwards. And Veterans 1 already for the howitzer. And now we're seeing an off-map combat group with additional tank destroyers and a 30 caliber machine gun. That's definitely going to put the pressure on the Krauts.
Enemy is after our victory point.
That's actually, I think we might be looking at 8 infantry squads for Gazia. That's a lot. I mean, he's going to have 25 Volksgrenadiers and then, I don't know, about 9 Grenadiers. That's definitely a solid force. Mortar rounds against the Grenadiers, although so far not really managing to hit. Stu-42 advancing the Volksgrenadiers in the east. The Panzerjacks are in the center. And we are finally seeing a bit of veterancy for the Stu-42s. Perhaps certain 2 would be nice, would give them some MGs. Advance continues right here. Riflemen actually charging right at this force. Quite interesting. Oh dear, getting hammered from outside. Grenadiers. Oh dear, Grenadier squad went down. Veterans 1 already for the mortar. Tank destroyers rushing in, getting hammered by Panzerjacks. 30 caliber getting blasted into oblivion by the thunderous booms of the Stu-42. Volksgrenadiers and Grenadiers getting pushed off as more riflemen flood in from all sides. And now the Stu-42 is going to be in for a rude awakening. Because again, they were not provided with anti-tank support. They cannot handle themselves against armor. So that was definitely a bit of a miss right there by Gazia. Not providing them with anti-tank support. Riflemen getting pushed away, grenades going off left and right. More troops moving in. And both Stu-42s are now history. In fact, oh dear, a Veterancy 3 tank destroyer. That's definitely not going to be helping Gazia's plight. Medics picking up the wounded, getting gunned down before they can actually provide them. a bit rude, that. And the Grenadiers getting stopped by the MG42 as usual. Veteran 2 for the howitzer. And now Stephennn Sports, of course, is getting more and more veteran. In fact, all of his rifles are in fact Veteran 2. And now we are seeing a Tiger being provided in the hopes that the 17th Volksgrenadiers can now extricate themselves from their problems that way. Bunker getting hammered by the howitzer. Dual Panzer Grenadiers against the riflemen on their own. They need to get out of there. And I'm not talking about the riflemen. We are seeing the Tiger moving through the ruins of Rouen. Setting up its sights on the riflemen. And meanwhile, just not far away, Volksgrenadiers and riflemen duel it out as well. Rifleman getting eviscerated, and it looks like, oh dear, the Tiger's already... No, well, wait, now it's just a burning truck. I thought the Tiger had suffered a damaged engine already. Oh, silly Opel Blitz. Volksgrenadiers getting hammered on all sides here. A good push from the sneaking about there, and the mortar again, Veteran 1. Rather nasty, that. Rifleman could be encountering the Tiger, though, the Tiger. More forces moving in from the Wehrmacht base. Gazia's situation is looking worse and worse off. Much more scrambled, much more chaotic. He's having a much harder time. Oh dear! Veteran 3 riflemen to go alongside that Veteran 3 tank destroyer.
Artillery reporting.
This is definitely not looking bright for Gazia. He really needs to deliver some proper blows. He needs something a bit more than just a Tiger. He might want to consider getting a Panzer Commander or a Sturm Armory. He needs some Sturmgeschütz or a Panzer IV. Perhaps a Panther. But he needs some bloody armor of a heavier kind or some mortars. He just needs something a bit more combined. Otherwise, I fear he might soon be losing this. In particular, since he was not very good at getting down a lot of mines after a certain stage in the game. And there we go, Veteran 3 Tiger. No, Veteran 3 Tank Destroyer, not Tiger, my goodness, no. Just a Tank Destroyer going against the Tiger. Rifle moving in, 2 dead. Small fighting here. Machine gun getting flanked by the Volksgrenadiers with the MP40s. Further fighting here. Oh, we're seeing assault from the Volksgrenadiers, stunning and really doing a lot of damage to the riflemen, allowing the Volksgrenadiers to get close, perhaps even the riflemen. Nicely done there. And Volksgrenadiers streaming in towards the center, trying to really catch those riflemen, get them. Swift jackbooting to the arse, but no such luck. And of course the mortar keeps firing somewhere over the rainbow. There we... Oh, Veteran 2! But looks like it will be able to get away still. A Veteran 2 mortar is... Hang on. Oh, there we go. Thought my key had stopped working. Some pioneers facing off against the engineers with a minesweeper.
Taking casualties.
Oh, this sounds like he actually took a loss. Probably some engineers.
Taken by the enemy.
But a Veteran 2 mortar with 12 kills. Looks like he lost the 30 caliber. In fact, left behind with only the MG42 now. Howitzer firing away once more. Oh, nasty hit on the pack. Medic bunker up again. More Grenadiers on the way for Gazia. Still no Stormtroopers. Do feel this is a bit of an odd move. He could at least just follow with one squad at least. Get some assault rifles. Give those Yankees a good thrashing, or at least some MGs. Rifleman taking some loss. Damage actually down to half health. Gazia once more making a push back to regain control, to regain dominance against the 11th Infantry Division as his Volksgrenadiers desperately try to hold on to dear life. Another push here. Oh, MG. No, not. Oh, I thought there was some Volksgrenadiers charging at the MG. More sending up once more to support a central offensive. That's good. MG sending up to prevent the Germans from actually moving out from there. And there we go. Grenadiers running straight into the MG42. Rifleman moving in. Mortar supporting. There we go. A nicely coordinated assault. Nice combined arms approach. MG, mortar, rifleman. And then just forwards.
Placements. Trying to
Another veterancy free rifleman squad. And these Volksgrenadiers are just going down so quickly. Just notice how the riflemen are slaughtering them. I mean, the only chance the Volksgrenadiers might have had... And there we go, utterly devastated. I mean, with two veterancy free rifleman squads on the ground, it might be time for Gazia to actually consider getting some veterancy free Volksgrenadiers. Or well, it's infantry, otherwise they're simply going to be down too quickly, and they need a health bonus now to really sort of survive against all of this. Sticky bomb against the Tiger from the veterancy free rifle, although one gets squished. Somehow, by a miracle, there's no damage to the Tiger's engine. Let's return to Gazia. Just barely got any munitions left though. Tiger running into a bit of trouble. Panzer's trying to do what they can, but they can't quite hit. Rifleman moving up, Grenadiers moving in. We are seeing additional Panzer's from there. Oh, he could be losing the veterancy free tank destroyer. That would be a very huge blow to Stephennn. Well, again, considering the situation, it might not be as devastating as one might initially imagine. Tiger heavily damaged now, engine damaged. Tank destroyer veterancy free looks like it might be escaping. No! Oh! Dear, destroyed engine. Looks like the Grenadiers will now get it. They will get their prey, their vengeance for all their comrades. All their Stu 42s blown to bits by this one vicious one. But no, they can't quite seem to get it. Trying to get about a house. And now this will be the end. The execution. And there we go. Blasted to bits. Tits up. It is no more. Just going off to join the choir invisible. Medic bunker here standing up reasonably well despite all the artillery going in, and again that's a nice little trick, you know. I mean, try to place it behind a building when you want to protect it against all map artillery. It essentially means that the buildings nearby, and of course the building in front, it are actually more likely to absorb the artillery fire, ensuring your medic bunker won't get so easily knocked out, giving you time to repair, but also generally just keep it alive. So I mean, that is a nice little trick for you, and you know, when it comes to medic bunkers, medic stations, anything like that, and you're worried about on-map artillery. Can even help a bit against off-map, you know. Place it near a building, place it something else, so that can absorb some of the damage. Grenade against the rifleman. Grenadiers pushing on pretty swiftly, but no rifleman moving in against them. Grenadiers need to retreat. Rückzug, Männer, Rückzug! 5 squads, yeah, 5 squads of Grenadiers as well. Oh my goodness! And now they kind of just look how this just, oh my goodness. Definitely not looking good for Gazia. He is utterly collapsing. The 17th is just unable to hold any ground in actual season. That rather seems to be the major problem with Gazia. He never really tried to sort of establish a defensive focus, which constantly allowed Stephennn to sort of run around corners with him, attack here and there. Let's just beat this last bit up. Rifleman getting stopped by assault grenades. Tank destroyers getting almost knocked out by the MG42. Right here stops that. Whoa, got blown to bits. Oh dear, barely any victory points left for Gazia. Stephennn pushes on. Dual mortars, looks like another off-map combat group, and a horde of tank destroyers moving against his Tiger. Pioneers trying to repair. Lots of artillery, Tiger moving in. Pioneers are gone. End of the Tiger. And a game over. Gazia retreating with the 17th Volksgrenadier Division. And I mean, quite the bloody fight. I mean, we saw really, you know, Gazia doing alright with all that infantry and the Grenadiers, although he probably should have gotten a medic bunker much earlier on. Well, the problem for Gazia was essentially that Stephennn kept running about. He just didn't want to sort of, you know, crash his head into a wall. If things failed here, he would switch here. Then he would switch over here, and then perhaps back there, and then over here again. I mean, he was sort of, you know, constantly viewing about dodging, and trouble was, Gazia was not really good at protecting his flanks and, you know, making it harder for Stephennn to move about. There was very little barbed wire after a certain point in the game. No mines. No MG bunkers, no anything really, and that rather was the advantage of Stephennn. Gazia did nothing really to limit his movements. And he should also consider getting actually some veterancy free or some heavy armor. He shouldn't have been spamming Stu 42s like that. So there you go. Do hope you enjoyed this game. If you did, why not subscribe and tell your friends, and if you didn't, well, why not send in a replay of your own. This is Imperial Dane saying cheers.